Hello?
Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Not much. Sitting around.
I heard that, man. I heard that. How's everything going, though?
Everything's actually going pretty good, man. Doing
That's
good.
good, man. That's good. I bet you're glad to get out of that area, ain't you?
Do what?
I said, I bet you're glad to get out of that area.
Hell. You get used to it out of wild and nuts.
Yeah, man. Whew, I don't know, man. I
It's
tell
a lot
you.
different than people think once you get down in there. And, you know, I mean, outside person going in, it's different too than a person that's lived there and knows everybody around from the area and know what to expect from each one, you know?
Right. So, you know, in this interview, man, if you don't want to answer something, you know, you don't have to. It's no pressure. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
And you can record it because I'm recording, so I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I always
cool,
let
man. That's cool.
everything, my stuff is recorded and all my screen stuff, messages, everything's always documented, so.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. Now, I know you're recording everything now. Do you want me to play this on my live afterwards or not?
I don't care. I just didn't,
Okay.
I just didn't want to be up on the live and being distracted from what you may be trying to ask or trying to get the point across or whatever, you know.
Right. And I feel that, you know, that's a good way to say that and do that too as well, you know.
I mean, because
there's a lot.
I mean, you can always go back and edit it a little bit if certain name. I mean, because when go up on somebody's panel or whatever, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, keep from getting their channel or whatever, and don't know about the doxing or whatever, and you know what I mean. I don't know nothing about it, and
as long as I put up the right things and everything, you say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to be free and just feel comfortable to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just start out, you know, because, you know, it's got, you know, this deals with the Summer Wells case and what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people wait till the end to go right to the good stuff, you know, and they try to get the gotcha. You know how it is.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to get that out of the way. What do you feel when I say the name Candace Wells? What comes to your mind?
I think she was used as a scapegoat.
An scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
well, what do you mean by?
You know, I mean, well, I'm basing that on the information out of Knoxville. It's what I'm basing that on.
Okay. So you getting all this from the Knoxville stuff that you know, that you personally know, and you're pretty much like, hey, this woman's being used as a scapegoat.
Yeah, that's the way I felt like.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Like
who is using her?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I feel like
who
she
is
used everything that went on and went along with it, but I think that she was misled on some of being brought back, is my opinion, from what I understand.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you believe that it was something that it was agreed to at first, and then she was never brought back?
Yeah. So my understanding, when I'm assuming she agreed to it by the way she looked in that interview and stuff, news interview, when Don said she may not be alive now, and she looked at Don real funny, like, are you shitting me? But from what I understood out of Knoxville and stuff, this has all come from DJ Smith. And
DJ Smith, okay.
Dennis Smith.
Okay. Right.
He
so
allowed a lot of things.
So,
I mean, and I don't know how he actually knew certain things without him being involved, but he allowed that he had talked to Playboy and stuff, but he did bring or send me voice clips, everything. Supposedly some are talking and all that and stuff. And I mean, I had to turn it into the TBI, and he was well aware that I was going to turn it into the TBI, because at first he wanted the revenge towards Playboy because of his dad being Playboy supposedly had killed his dad for something. I don't know the details. He didn't go in on that. But anyway,
Oh, wow.
I thought, well, I mentioned something about some reward money, and then to make him feel more comfortable talking, and he was got to want that reward money too, you see.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
well, you do know that everything between me and you has to be turned into TBI for you to collect that, don't you? He's like, yeah, and I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we started working on stuff. I mean, he would go to the motel and stuff, and supposedly his girlfriend was the woman that actually sat with the kids a lot, especially when Playboy was going to Atlanta getting the big shipments.
And when you say shipments, you're talking about like drugs and stuff like that.
Yes, getting his drugs, yes.
Okay. So you know the FBI searched the 3500 block of Van Hill Road.
Yes.
Which is your family members,
yes.
Correct?
Yes, it is.
During that search, did they unearth a vehicle? Did they uncover a vehicle and bring a vehicle out of the sand or dirt?
Not as I know
of. Okay.
They was more focused on. I mean, there's more focused on the pond somewhat, and then more inside of the home, from what I'm understanding, and more like looking for. They was going through his bank accounts, his wheels, everything like that. That makes me think they're looking for some kind of money transaction. That's what it tells me, you know, from what I'm understanding. Okay.
So it's more of a transaction kind of thing. They're trying to find.
That's what
money.
I'm understanding from the way they was talking. But I was told that they did find something, but it wasn't something.
Right.
But like, it could have been a phone. It could have been anything. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So do you think that there's I mean, so I'm on the deal with the Morrison Cemetery.
Yes, I know that.
Right now. What is your opinion on that?
I personally wouldn't think she would be there, but anything's possible. You know that. I mean, only one that knows exactly where she's at, the ones that's done it. So, with that being said, I mean, a lot of us is just guessing at where she could be.
Right, I understand that.
But in way I would think, if it was an accident or something, and somebody was trying to cover something up, most likely they would go to an area that they know well. Most likely they're not going to go to an area that they know that there's lots of cameras, or a place that they've never been to, not knowing if there's cameras or anything. Most likely they'll go to a place that they've been to many, many times, and they're real feel safe of that area to dispose of something. That would be my opinion of it.
Right.
And see, if you come out of there are cameras all over Ben Hill. That's what a lot of people don't understand. There's cameras that ain't even been mentioned. But see, like from Thompson's, where you turn over Simpson's, back to Beach Creek Road, my understanding, they wasn't never no cameras. But from like Simpson Lane, you got the Thompson's camera, and then on Simpson Lane, up next to where the gate is, where you turn at the end, there's a camera right there on the right. And then if you go on up Ben Hill Road, I had 5 cameras, and then my mom and dad had surveillance cameras on the house. Then you've got Richard Goley that's got like 5 cameras, Ed Redmond that's got dozens of cameras, and then there's cameras even on back the holler and stuff, you know.
Right.
And
so you do believe in that interview, and I know what interview you're talking about, because when he says she may not even be alive now, Candace does kind of look at him kind of funny,
like. What the fuck, you know? I mean, pardon my language, but that's the way she looks at him, like with her mouth and the stuff just dropped, like, really?
Right. And I know what you're talking about on that. So do you believe that maybe that this did happen, like what I mean, do you think it was over like the $60,000 that people say, or that he was in debt? Do you know anything about that?
Only thing I know is what Dennis said at Knoxville about. He said it was Don still owed like 40-some thousand at that point. Supposedly Don was still taking money.
Okay.
So I don't really know.
So when you say taking money, I mean, how's he getting money?
I don't know.
I thought he was like buying drugs or something and got in debt.
Well, he got quite a bit of dope, him and somebody else, and from what I understand, it was Andy Bernard and Don Wells. And this is why Andy don't like me, but I really not got no problem with Andy. All I'm going on is what is referred to me that I didn't even know nothing about.
Right.
And then it's hard to put all this together.
Well, let me ask you a question. How come, like, you know, everybody's mentioned, you know, people, they've mentioned the Morrison Cemetery. Like, you know, you said things about the Morrison Cemetery. There's Marlena said things about the Morrison Cemetery. It's just like, you know, Andy Bernard said stuff about the Morrison Cemetery.
I mean, the only thing I said about it was it's a possibility, you know, going by what I heard of Andy and all them, Andy and more or less Marlena talking about, you know.
Right.
And
so how involved
online,
was
you know, that was just online where I heard that. But far as when I was in jail everywhere, I've never heard nobody mention anything about Morrison Cemetery. Everybody, like when I was locked up and stuff, it was talked about a lot in there, and everybody said that she was sold, pretty much.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Fred. Let me see what let me make sure we're getting this and everything. Let me make sure. I want to make sure everything's good. Okay, so it is. So let me make sure here.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that while you was in jail, everybody had mentioned that she was sold?
Yes, that's what 99% of them was saying in jail. Nobody said that they thought it was an accident or nothing. Everybody was saying, oh, they pretty much sold her. Whether, I don't know if they meant really sold her or owed or what for, you know.
Right. So could she have been used to settle a debt maybe, or to give extra time for an extension?
Well, I was told through Dennis Smith that she was just supposed to in hell until Don and them brought the money and paid, and then they would get her straight back. But when the transaction was made, when she was brought from point A to point B, Don called and tried to get out of having to pay, thought that if by him calling her in missing, that they would get scared and just bring her back and drop her out somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Dennis said.
And then they had to do what they had to do? Do you, or did he even mention what they did with her after that?
Well, she was still in Knoxville, last I heard. When I turned that information in, she was still supposed to be in Knoxville. And the voice clips and stuff that he brought to me and stuff, or sent to my phone that I had took to the TBI of Summer and stuff talking, she talked like she was actually happy where she was at. That's why it kind of surprised me, because she was talking about her daddy coming seeing her every 2 weeks and stuff. And then you got Dawn about the same time going online talking about how long Summer's hair's got. And then as DJ, I said, well, what's her hair look like now? And he said, well, it's down about her shoulders, and they've got a perm in it, and it's dyed red.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
See, it's hard for me to dismiss this Knoxville stuff because there's so much to it that even I questioned DJ about with like a milk jug video and stuff. I'm like, well, they're saying she's dead right here on this milk jug video. He said, no, most likely they sedated her for the transaction, so she will not know who actually took her from point A to point B.
Really?
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, who's mentioned sedation? And he's already brought Andy's name up.
Really?
And see, I don't know if you need to put this on YouTube or not, but I'm going to just discuss what I was told by Dennis.
Go ahead.
He said that Don and Andy owed money on a debt. And Don agreed to let Summer go and stay, or them take Summer, but Andy had to be the transporter. And he said a son, he didn't say whether he's Don's son or Andy's son, but I'm assuming he's talking about Andy's son. He said the son took Summer to the road, and then she was passed between 3 vehicles in a short period of time. And I'm thinking, okay, what vehicles did I see that day? What vehicles did I see? Well, then I'm thinking the odd ones was only ones I hadn't seen before was the Mississippi tag, the blue truck, and the white HHR. And then I'm thinking, well, if she was brought off to, and then see, Andy he won't allow he was not on the road, but he is on camera, and law enforcement even made a joke about they'd asked him, and he denied being on the road and didn't act like he didn't even know what he drove, and they showed him a picture, and they was laughing about how he acted when they showed him the picture, you know, of him being on the road. But the 3 vehicles, he said she was passed off in a short period of time between 3 vehicles. And the Mississippi tag was supposed to have been checked out. The only one that wasn't checked out and ain't found was the white HHR and the blue truck that followed Andy out. So was it handed to Andy first, and then Andy handed her a blue truck, and then handed to the white HHR?
Now,
that's where I'm thinking.
During all this,
mm-hmm.
So during all this and everything, did Don actually know what was going on, or Candace?
About the Knoxville stuff, I mean, they had to agree on.
No, I mean about why they're coming to get her and everything.
Yes, it was all set up. That's how I'm assuming the Duntex and all that is, because Andy was in the holler at 3:47. The last time coming out by the last camera. He was back at Zoomer's at 5:30 getting gas. Then Jody tried to play where I said, oh, Andy took off several days after that. Jody tried to put up a time card trying to show that Andy was at work that day, that week. And on June the 15th, on Tuesday, he showed he checked out, timed out on 12 a.m., and never checked back in.
Wow.
On the time card that she tried to present as evidence that Andy had worked all the week, you see.
So Jody Sue. So what was does Jody Sue even have a part in this?
I think she's covering for Damien. Because see, way I'm looking at it, if Andy was probably thinking, well, only way I can get by with this and not, you know, if I get Damien to go up there and bring her to the road, then he can't say nothing. And then Jody can't say nothing because she knows she ain't going to incriminate her son. So it just ties all of them's mouth up, you see. And then
Damien, so you're saying Damien, the one that went to the Army?
Yes.
So you're saying that.
And when I was recording and stuff, what makes me think Jody didn't have no cameras at all on the 15th when I was recording, when I first got down there recording this stuff, Damien walked down and brought a trail camera and asked Jody where to put it up. And she said, like the third tree up on the right, which is a big pine tree. And he put it up and he disappeared. That's the only time you've seen him the whole time down there. He was like, he did not want to be seen, no nothing, no conversations with nobody, no nothing. But the daughter, she walked up and down the hill several times. I mean, in the 3 days I recorded and stuff.
So during you was so when you was working, so you're pretty much working with the TBI, correct?
Yeah. Well, mostly Hawkins County, the special tactics and drug task force, pretty much the same thing. Third Judicial Drug Task Force with Scott Stewart's team, pretty much.
Scott, okay. So, and is that so? Let me ask you. You know, Scott's taking office here in about literally 15 days, 16 days.
Yeah.
He's going to be in office.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a great change.
You do?
Yep.
I have heard from other law enforcement officers from other counties that talk to, you know, the specific counties involved, that they will be questioning, arrest, and stuff made right off the bat.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. But see, Scott's team, when they first come to me and wanted me recording stuff, the main thing they wanted me hit on Don with was who he owed. Because they done knew about his oldest son that he tried to sell in Arkansas or wherever at that point. So it had to be in a database somewhere.
So when he went to Arkansas, he tried to sell his oldest son. Is that what you're saying?
Well, when him and Pam was together, wherever they lived, I don't know if it's Arkansas or where, but it was, I'm thinking it was Arkansas. But it was his very first son that he was standing on a street corner trying to sell or whatever.
Do you know how much he was trying to get out of his son?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going by what I had heard, you know. But the law enforcement done knew about, because that's how I found out about Don trying to sell his first son, because they was like, okay, we need, if you agree to recording the stuff, because we didn't know Don's tried to take and sell his other son, his first son, by his first wife. We need you to take and try to hit on Don any which way you can and try to find out who he owed.
Right.
And see, this is coming from Scott Stewart's team at first, so I don't know what their agenda is now, most likely.
So you know what they're going to hit the ground running with when it comes time, right?
Pretty much. I mean,
and it's going to be
by them done presenting that from day one.
Let me ask you a question. Would it be fair to say that they're going to arrest Candace because they know she will crack when put in the interrogation room?
Yeah, it would be fair if they would do that, but my opinion, they would get Damien first.
Oh, really?
That's kind of
because of his military career and what he's up and what he's got to lose.
Somebody's talking, Ernie. I got a phone call and I did share it with another creator, but somebody's being questioned in Knoxville about a month ago.
Really? Now I heard that people were talking.
Dennis Smith is being questioned. He's in.
But he's supposed to be transferred to Blount County.
Huh?
He's supposed to be transferred to Blount County.
Yeah, now I think he is, but he was in Knoxville County when the guy that contacted me the other day on the phone call, he just contacted me out of the blue. He's like, because we had been in the halfway house and he just got out of jail and went back to that same halfway house, this boy that called me, and he's like, hey, I need to tell you something. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, they've been pulling Dennis out and taking him upstairs and questioning him about something else. And I'm like,
wow.
And he said, it's usually not good when they're taking them upstairs like that to question them.
Wow. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you told anybody, any other YouTuber this?
What about the phone call?
No, yeah, about what's going on now, what you're telling me.
I've tried to talk to a few of them offline and stuff about some of it, but I'm not went in details of how it was all supposed to happen. No.
So everything you're telling me right now is pretty much new right now.
Yeah.
In detail.
I mean, far as the who was supposed to actually took her to the road and everything, you know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because
okay.
I'm just not wanting to out them like that, you know, and I've been trying to give the TBI and stuff time to take and do what they need to do if it is important in this case, you know.
Yes. So let me ask you a question, Fred. And you heard the Hatfield and McCoy's interview with Don Wells and Candace, and you know, and Trudy happened to be on the phone.
Yeah, I've heard bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Why do they keep mentioning my name and that I'm costing Hawkins County bukus of money?
I wouldn't have no idea. I don't see you costing them nothing.
Do you think that, you know, from what you know about the case and everything, am I on the right track, though? Am I rattling the cages?
You're rattling a lot of cages of them, I'm sure, you know. But I don't know. I mean, that's just my speculation on it.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean,
it just,
like me, I don't know really what's really happened this summer, and I feel like every rock needs to be turned, you know, because we don't, just like the investigator said, if we point all of our focus on one thing, then we're going to miss something over here. We can't look at it as she just walked off the hill. We got to look at it as maybe she could have been kidnapped, or maybe this, or maybe that. And I try not to be biased, you know. And the only thing I knew about Andy, I know he was on that road that day. And that there was many people on the road that day. I mean, I can give a name drop. I have to get my paper to give a name drop of everybody that was on the road that day. But see, what was strange, that morning, Don left out with the boys that morning. But what time did he bring the boys back is my question. He had to bring them back at a certain point.
So let me ask you a question. With the swimming hole and everything, is the metadata, when Gavel Geek shows the metadata, the metadata is there for summer.
Oh, yeah.
But at 3:10 p.m. or 3:09 p.m., 3:10, 3:09, summer's never seen again.
Yeah. And you know what was strange, too, about Killbilly being up on your panel last night, and he kept talking about that guy in the feds for 15 years and stuff?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about Josh Stedman.
And, well, I thought he was talking about Josh, and I named Josh, and he said no.
Well, there's this two that I know of in that area that got fed time around, you know, that 15 years was Josh Stedman or Josh Davis. But way he was talking about all sleeved out with tattoos, all this, all that, that told me it was Josh Stedman he was talking about. But see, you know what's ironic about that is, you know where the milk jug video was taken?
Okay.
On Merle Road, right there at the corner of Merle and Lone Star. He lives right there in that camper right on the corner.
Really?
Yes. That's where he did live, but he's in Penn now for his time.
Right. So, you know,
I mean, I don't know what he was referring to as at that person or whatever, but that's who I'm pretty sure he's talking about.
Right. So the feds, the feds have contacted you. Do they still keep contact with you, Fred?
I ain't never talked to the feds at all.
Okay, Hawkins County. Sorry about that.
To the FBI. I've just talked to mostly Hawkins County and the TBI.
Right, TBI, feds, TBI. What's TBI?
Most time I went, and only time I've talked to the TBI was on the 16th. It was middle of the day. They come and took it, and wrote everything down, the same thing as Hawkins County did on the evening of the 15th. You know, you had to give a statement, and they took a statement. You know, that's the only time I talked to them, other than when I went to Hawkins County to download my phone, and then they sent that guy from Knox County back to Hawkins County to download everything off my phone. And while he was on route, we was sitting there going over where the locations of the motels was, everything that, from what I understood through Dennis, where they was at, you know.
Mm-hmm. So when all that's happened and everything, like, wow, that's give me a that's a new
but see, when
something new that
when I took that information, my phone in and stuff, and was giving them that information, I had another person with me that took me there. It actually, you said something about coming to Knoxville. You was gonna roll up or something other at Knoxville and try to interview me or something other, and I'm like, well, just meet me at Hawkins County because I got to turn this in anyway. And then it went.
I remember that. Remember we talked about. Remember when we was talking about the hotels and the human trafficking, and I told you I knew where they were at. You remember how we talked about that?
Yeah. But see,
I remember that.
But see, when I was sitting there, and we was going over the maps and stuff, and identifying DJ Smith and all that, and because they were putting a file together at that point. They had a file was putting it together, his mug shots, everything, and they didn't let on like they knowed where he was at, everything at that point. Whether they got up with him by or not, I don't know. But they was putting a file together and stuff, and they're like, I said something about Pruitt, and they're like, we ain't sending none of this on to Pruitt's desk because it's going in the trash. This here is not even going to touch Pruitt's desk. Wow.
So Detective Pruitt.
That was
right.
There's 5 investigators that was looking over the stuff, and we was discussing the maps and stuff, and then there was another guy sitting at the end of the table that was supposed to be the sniper or something other for Hawkins County, the Special Tactics Unit. He was sitting there.
The SWAT, the Special Weapons and Tactics. Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, they allowed that. They did not want none of that information at all to go over Pruitt's desk because they said that most of the stuff that was coming in was going straight in the trash. And evidently they thought there was something to this, or they went and took it as serious as they did that day. I was there for several hours. Of course, it took a while to get up there to download everything off my phone. And see, when they downloaded my stuff off my phone the first day Summer went missing and stuff, they wasn't nothing ever missing and nothing. But when I turned that information in, everything was wiped clean for as all our conversations, everything with DJ. It was like I never even talked to him.
Wow. So who would have wiped them clean? Would that have been a detective?
Well, when the TBI come up there and downloaded all of it off my phone, I'm assuming that they done away with what was on my phone, so I couldn't be sharing it with other people or whatever. I'm assuming. I'm a guess.
Right.
I don't know, but
right.
I just know it was no longer there. There was a couple. I mean, he didn't delete that I hadn't talked to him, Dennis. He still left up a few little things like discussing halfway house that he had. I texted him a couple of times, like your mail's here or you've got a package that's been delivered, because I pretty much run a lot of the halfway house when I was there, doing a lot of their drug screens and stuff for drug court and stuff at 5 o'clock in the mornings and stuff. And so the reason Dennis actually left, he OD'd and stuff, and we was getting ready to try to get him into an inpatient, and he took off.
Right. So let me ask you a question. You mentioned that, you got a friend that's in jail or that's talking about how they'll keep pulling Dennis Smith out. They keep pulling Dennis Samuel Smith out, and saying they're taking him upstairs to talk about Summer Wells. See, I've heard that again from somebody else too that's got people in jail, and they're collaborating your story there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going by what he told me. He had just been out not long, and he got back to the halfway house and got access to a phone and stuff, and I'd have to see him active, and I'm like, hey, what's up? I ain't seen you in a while. And then he's like, I need to tell you something. Can you call me? And then I called him, and we was on FaceTime. He's like, I can't talk on FaceTime. I'm in the halfway house. He said, call me straight back on and not through FaceTime, you know, which I did. And then I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was just going to shoot the shit or something about something stupid. And I wasn't recording the first part of it, and he was talking about they was pulling Dennis out and stuff and talking to him, and then they was somebody contacting him through a certain Gmail, Dennis, and Dennis was showing him a certain email and stuff that was being sent back and forward, talking about Summer's case and stuff, which I'm not for sure who owns that email, but I can send you the clip of that when we get through.
Yeah, I appreciate that and everything. Well, man, I mean, you know, I think I've talked to you. You know, I said we was just going to have just a conversation, and so I have heard, and this is one thing that's kind of keeping us at bay too, because other law enforcement are telling us, hey, guys, look. Just wait on the new sheriff.
That's what
it's going to be big.
That's one reason I'm not really on YouTube or nothing no more, because I know Scott most likely going to do great things. I mean, listen, Scott's one had me busted. He's one that made the buys off of me and stuff, you know, my drug charges and stuff. But I'm grateful that Scott had me busted. He saved my life. And I have nothing but good for Scott Stewart. For that.
Wow. Do you believe Summer's going to be found?
I just wonder if she's already been found. But then after the Knoxville stuff, you see, then they went and searched that property up there on Van Hill at 3500 block. And then you're like, well, was that information any useful? Was he lying, or was it truthful, or what are they up there looking for? And then there's certain ones that got certain ties to that place more than other people. Because when Andy first went to jail and stuff the very first time, his mama Fleta, the one that lived at 125 that raised him, she was taking and getting money off of Powell, and Powell was putting it on Andy's books and taking care of Andy while he's in jail and stuff at that time.
Right.
So, and then see, you got Andy mentioning he had stopped by Frankie's the night of the 14th when they was looking for Jackie Dodds, but I don't even know why he even brought that up when I was recording that day, you see. He's like, yeah, when we went to look for Jackie Dawes all down the creek and went to Baileyton and stuff, he said, when I went by Frankie's, I guess he just said it because we're cousins, you know. He said, I went by Frankie's, and when I went by, he said, I seen Frankie working on a Jeep and stuff. And he said, when I come back by, I just stopped and told him, hey, man, if you need any Jeep parts, just holler at me. But that was all he said about stopping there. But he did stop there, you see. That's
right, he did. You're right.
There. Whether it was just something innocent or whether it was something else, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm just going by what was recorded.
I understand that.
I mean, I was recording stuff for them the first few days. I mean, there's so much that Jody's put out and stuff and really told some truths about it, but she made it into more gruesome than it was, you know. I mean, just like the dream that Andy was supposed to have that she put out. I knew about it on the 16th. It's on the recording. And the daughter's one that walked down the hill and brought it up to Jody. And then Jody hollered at Andy and asked him about it. And he's like, oh, it was just a effing dream, blah, 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 you know. And then Jody's like, well, when did you see her summer last? He said, well, I seen her on the, what was it? The night of the 14th, but he said, I didn't see her earlier on the 15th. And then, you know, he was up on your panel and stated, well, the dumb text was he was trying to hide taking something to Candace or whatever, and Jody not know about it or something in that phrase.
Right.
Was that on the 14th or was that on the 15th that happened, or was it on the 16th? But see, a lot of stuff I can't put my finger to what was going on, because on the 15th, see, after Dawn left from my place, everybody wants to think Dawn and Candace come to my place first. Candace went to Donnie Chambers first, and then came to my house.
Wait a minute. So, why would she go to Donnie Chambers for?
I'm assuming that, well, they usually sit and play a lot right there, the kids and stuff, around the stop sign, and down that long stretch right there, as soon as you turn off of Beach Creek onto Ben Hill. I see them play right there a lot with Candace. You know, Candace is usually parked at that stop sign, and they'll play up down through her. But she could, I don't know why she went to Donnie's first, you know, unless she just trying to play stuff off. But
do you find that maybe those photos that were taken of Summer and the videos that were taken of Summer and Grandis kind of like, do you believe they were used for time placements?
A possibility. I mean, it's just odd that they was certain way it was presented, you know.
Right.
Try to knock me a damn cigarette. But yeah, I mean, and that is like Don wants to holler that, oh, the CPS. If I had one question, I mean, to really drill Candace on, who was the woman you was talking to at the aquatic center, supposedly on the 15th between 11 and 11:30, discussing the DCS paperwork and stuff? And it was a blonde-headed woman and another woman, what I'm told, from pretty good, reliable source, and she had several children with her, all about Summer's age, all girls.
Really?
And see, one of the phone calls, Ziggy had talked to Don, I don't know, it was back in December, I think it was. We finally got him to talk for a minute, and I asked to speak to Candace, and, you know, Ziggy was talking to him, and I said, can I talk to Candace? He said, well, she's right here. And I'm like, Candace, who was that you talked to at the aquatic center on the 15th about the DCS stuff? She said, oh, that wasn't on the 15th. She did talk to a woman, but it wasn't on the 15th, is what she tried to say. And then she wouldn't say no more about it. Because, you know, I sent you that document of the other day that we didn't know what was what. We thought it was all made up. We actually sent that to Don, try to get a response, see what he thought, and he just ignored it, you know.
Right. That's you know when you say that's really like a tall like sign. You know, like these guys, they doing stuff to cover things up. Do you believe that?
Yeah, it could be. But I can give you a name to take and try to get a hold of that was at the aquatic center that supposedly witnessed Candace and them being there.
Okay, so before you give me this name, I'm going to pause this. That way.
Okay.
Okay, it's paused right now. Go ahead and give me the name.
And
okay.
I noticed a phone call had come through, and I called her back, and she's like, she acted like she didn't even know Candace and stuff. And she's like, I seen that little girl and her mother and grandmother at the aquatic center, which is a water park right before you get to, it's at the end of Reservoir Road before you get to Priceless at Wilcox. See, Priceless is on the other side of Wilcox. The water park and stuff's on this side of Wilcox at the end of Reservoir Road on the left.
Oh yeah, I'm very, very, very familiar with those, all those areas there.
And then you got Hunter saying something about a water park. They supposed to went by a water park. But way Abby talked, though, that the woman, the conversation she heard of Candace was talking to that woman about the CPS and stuff, and then the woman that she was talking to was supposed to be out of, I'm trying to think if she said Indianapolis or Minneapolis. And that's where they was going back to. But she allowed that Candace and Summer and Grandis left back together, but that don't mean they didn't go somewhere else. See, I turned this into law enforcement, so I don't know where it went from there. Like I told law enforcement, I said, it'd be easy confirmation. Only thing you got to do is go and pull her footage. There's surveillance of that day.
Right. So I mean, there's a lot of ways that we can verify this when you say that.
Yeah. But I mean, if it is got something to do with DCS or whatever, like Don and him wants to say, I try to keep an open mind. I don't try to take in this, say, well, I know for a fact this is what happened, because I don't know for a fact this is what happened. There's many possibilities of things that could have happened. I mean, it could have been abduction. It could have been an accident. It could have been a drug debt. I mean, it could have been a variety of things. We got to look at it at the whole perspective, not just as, hey, listen, this is, and it not be it,
Right. But you being around the law enforcement that's with this now, and I believe you have knowledge, more than anybody else would, because you said you're the one sitting in there for hours and hours and hours and interrogating, right?
I never was interrogated.
Well, I mean, you was sitting in there you said you was down there for hours and hours, and they was talking to you.
Oh, with the Dennis Smith stuff, yeah. I mean, we was going over maps and all that,
I believe that right there, alone tells a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you, they're going after that.
See, I think Scott's hands got tied at first. They was desperate wanting to get Dawn and Candace at first, because they was 100% sure that Dawn traded. Okay.
Uh-huh.
They tried to get me to take the alcohol to Dawn and Candace, and I was like, well, I've never partied with them or nothing. Wouldn't that kind of be weird? They're like, well, we'll take care of that part. Wait 45 minutes, go down there and record. Well, when I went down there and record, Dawn naturally wasn't there. Candace was outside standing up again, Dawn's white truck at the back of it. And I asked her, I said, where's Dawn at? And she's like, he's not here. I said, okay. And about that time, I heard somebody coming up the driveway, and it was Dawn. And when he pulled up and stuff, he got out, and Candace went straight in the house. She didn't say no more. She went straight in the house. Didn't even speak to Dawn. And then me and Dawn spoke there just a minute, and then that's when that life and stuff come over the recording device, and it made me think the law enforcement was trying to let Dawn know I was recording him or something. And then I got pissed off, and I tried to play it off like it was my phone, and then I just shut things down and started back off the driveway, and they're coming up the driveway trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, 2 days later after that, the two officers that I was working with is the one that took the alcohol up there. Okay, they wasn't allowed back up at the Wellses. But see, I think that's where it tied Scott's hands right then, that he couldn't do nothing. And I think that's why when he comes in office, it's going to be a different ballgame.
Oh, I 100% agree with you on that.
But see, I think that's what tied his hands right off the get-go. But they was determined to get Don then. And they just pushed a little too, they went the dirty way about it, you know. They should not have took the alcohol or stuff. But I think that's what actually tied Scott's hands right off the rip where he couldn't do nothing. But Scott's tied with a lot of different agencies and stuff that knows a lot more than Ronnie. But like you were saying, yeah, Ronnie, he is known to take payments and his right hand man. I'm so grateful that to hear that Tony Allen didn't get it, because that is Ronnie's right hand man that was taking actually the payments and probably splitting it with the rest, you know. With, I'm assuming, with Ronnie.
Chief.
But see, when the cemetery was first mentioned, I was like, well, they're going to have a hard time with the family agreeing with anything to do with that grave, because not because of anything with Summer, because they got a grudge towards Hawkins County. See, Hawkins County Drug Task Force run over Ray Morrison, Danny Ray Morrison, and killed him.
Oh, really?
On Beach Creek. And they already got a feud kind of between that family and Hawkins County over that incident.
Wow.
That was before the James Light raid. They was actually coming out to raid James that night, and then, to be honest, they actually got behind my ex-wife, and she was coming to my house supposedly to pick up her daughter, because I had her on the weekend, and she was ditch line to ditch line, and they followed her on to where my place was and arrested her and took her in. And on the way back down Beach Creek, the vehicle she was actually in with them is one that hit Danny Ray.
And that was at this time and this location as all that happened. So Hawkins is kind of like, wait a minute, we got our hands tied here pretty much. Is that what you're pretty much saying?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, on Scott Stewart's part of it at the minute, you know, until he takes office. And I think when he takes office, then he can take and do what he was doing at first.
Do you believe that Summer will be the main attention for Scott?
Yes. Yes.
Have you heard that from other law enforcement officers, and you don't have to say their name?
Well, I've not talked to none of them since I've been here in Indiana. I mean, we sent some stuff into TBI and stuff for his Gmails, but as far as speaking with any of the officers, I've not. I just know what the...
You just heard that.
You know.
Go ahead.
I just know what the agenda was at first of Summer's case from day one.
Right.
With Scott, you know.
So,
and see, a lot of people from that area that did not want Scott elected. They was for Tony Allen, most of them. And that was to continue doing their bullshit that they always done for all them years.
And that's with the good old boy system, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Fred. I've got a live here in about 20 minutes, and you're more than welcome to watch it. I do appreciate you for answering that. And if I have some following questions, is this okay if we do it like this from here on out?
Yes, we can do it like this at any time. Anytime you have any questions, I mean, just like other creators and stuff. I just don't like going in a lot of chats and stuff because a lot of people don't like Ziggy, or a lot of people just don't like me, or whatever the case is, and then they just start attacking for no reason just because they don't like you, whether you're speaking facts or bullshit, you know. And then a lot of people, you go in certain chats, and then somebody see you in there that they don't like you being over there in that chat or that chat, and then they start contacting all the mods and threatening them and this and this and this. It's all a fake game, you know. So I try. I know
how that works.
I try to be respectful and not even go in people's chat. I mean, Just like when Andy was up there and stuff, I didn't want to go in chat because I wanted him to be not feel intimidated because I was in chat. I wanted him to be able to speak freely. But just like him saying that me and him had been into it like the day before or something, me and Andy's never been into it. We never had a crossword. Just like Don, he let on like, oh, he come to my house, kicked my door in. It didn't even happen like that. Don's never even raised his voice at me, and I've never raised my voice at Don. I mean,
so why would he just? So do you believe Don just puts things in people's mind to think that makes them think that he's doing something?
They say little shit to make yourself try to look big. I guess I don't know. My opinion. That's just like when I got out of the halfway house and actually I started staying in the bean station a little bit. Then I got permission to start staying on Reservoir Road, about 3 miles from Jody, at my other sister's, and well, at my sister's, my oldest sister. But while I was there mowing and stuff, Andy come by, and then I just stopped. He kept hollering online that I better stay in my lane and stuff. I guess because I'd mentioned him. Only thing I've mentioned really about Andy is him being on the road, and he's allowed to be on that road, you know. But it just what makes it odd is why I lie about it, and law enforcement knows you on that road. Even though people want to say, oh, he was at work. Yeah, he was at work most of that day, but there was a short time period he wasn't at work, for a fact. And then when you're working with somebody you're moving guns, drugs, everything else for, you think they're going to take and tell what's going on there? No. And then why did that van pull up with all them little girls in it at Andy's work, you know, and offer them for sale?
No, whoa, wait a minute. You're saying that there was a van?
That's what Andy told us. It's on the live stream that there's a white van pulled up, and somebody else worked on the van. Then they most for him to come over to the van and had some young girls in, offering them for sale. They were scared to death. And he brought up a name Stoney, and then that kind of Stoney's got connections in Knoxville. He's a Mason, and I don't know how he is even a Mason.
Oh, wow. So what happened to the girls?
I don't know. I mean, Andy's one brought it up on the live stream one night.
Well, are we talking about, was they underage girls or were they just women?
Yeah, they was underage girls. The way he talked, young girls, he said. But,
oh, wow.
But nobody's going to pull up at nobody's work site like that and say, hey, you come here a minute, you want to purchase some of these girls in here and them scared to death, you know, like what Andy said, they look like they scared to death. Unless you done been in that game. There ain't nobody gonna roll up like that at a workplace, especially. I could see like maybe on a street or something or other. But you roll up at a certain place where they're like at Hayworth, where they're changing their tires and stuff, and say, hey, come here. When you know that everything's gonna be on camera and all that, I mean, it don't make sense.
No, it don't.
Do you something about Stoney, you know, and then
was this after Summer went missing?
I mean, the live stream was, yes, that he went up and told that, but I don't know what day that day was actually supposed to be an at his work.
Okay.
But see,
well,
the third day after, let's see, the 15th, 16th, 17th. I didn't record the 18th, but I was down there and at the end of Andy and Jody's driveway, and they act like they was into it kind of when I got there, and Andy put that black and white pit bull in the back of the Kia, and he pulled out, and that was the last time I seen Andy for 21 days, and I run into him at Zoomers again. I was getting gas, and he's like, yeah, I've been out of town working at, I'm wanting to think he said Ripley's, running a train ride. And he mentioned he said, I said, yeah, I ain't seen you in a while. He says, yeah, it's been about 21 days at that point, you know. So, and then that's when Jody got mad and put that time card up and tried to say, oh, he was still at work at Hayworth. all that week, you see. And then
Uh-huh.
on Tuesday, which was supposed to be the 15th, it showed him checking in and out in the AM. Never checking
okay.
you know. And then the rest of the days before it, he checked in the AM and out in the PM. And like Wednesday, Thursday, and on, morning and evening, he checked out. But that Pacific day, it showed him just checking in the AM and out in the AM. Never checking back.
And you're talking about the day Summer went missing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Where does Grandis fit in any of this? And give me a few minutes, but go ahead and talk about Grandis and where she fits in, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Well, I don't really know much about Grandis. I don't think she really even knew what was even happened, to be honest. I don't think they let her know nothing. Yeah, I don't know nothing about Grandis really, or I've not really heard nobody around that area even really mention Grandis.
Okay, I'm back, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know nothing about Grandis really, but I feel like she probably may not even know nothing, you know. I believe that it was just all.
Well, you know, she left. She left. I believe she has to know something from being in the family, because she left right out of there. She tore out of there, didn't she?
Left. There's a big difference in just leaving and being forced out.
Oh, so you think that maybe she was forced out?
She was forced out by law enforcement. She had to leave, or they was taking the boys then, because she's not allowed around children.
Wait. You're saying Grandis is not allowed around children?
Grandis is not around children. Supposed to be around children. It's in some sealed documents on CPS.
Wow.
She's
I
not
never
supposed
knew
to
that.
be around children, period, from what I'm understanding. And law enforcement made her leave. She didn't just volunteer up and just, oh, someone went missing, I've got to get out of here. It wasn't like that. It was, I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not taking up for Grandis at all. Don't think I. But I know what law enforcement done.
Okay.
They made her, you got to go, or we got to take these boys, because you're not allowed around them. And if you're going to stay here, we got to take them from your presence.
So is Grandis on some sort of, well, why ain't she on a registry or something then?
I don't know.
Or is she?
I'm really not really looked into her, but I know her brother is.
Oh, really?
Her brother's big. And see, he just got out a couple of days before someone went missing.
Really?
And then see, Don's sister Sonia was supposed to have been visiting around a few days before someone went missing. So
wow.
I'm understanding, you know.
Well, Fred, I'm going to get ready for this live, man. I do appreciate you for, being cooperative.
Any kind of questions or whatever, I mean, you can feel free to call me or whatever, you know.
Okay, I will. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Are you going to watch?
Yeah, I'll probably try to watch. I thought about trying to go down here and see if I can go fishing. The river's been up, but the last few days it's been flooding up here. I was trying to catch it down enough to fish.
Okay. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Fred. See you, bud.
Bye.